People keep asking, so I'll say it. Fear over Instagram's terms change is ridiculous. Get real, folks, says the guy that was not able to keep a social network alive. Tom Anderson founded MySpace, by the way. I was correct. I did it right the first time. At Polotapia, says the guy who sold MySpace in 2005 for $580 million. That's in 2005 money, man. That was like pre-housing market crash recession $580 million. While you slave away hoping for a half a day off. Take it easy on him, Tom. Jesus Christ. Hi again, fellas. And in a video topic that was foretold in the stars and that honestly I probably should have made like years ago, we are looking at r/murderedbywords. Now, you'll notice that this is a very old post, both from like the graininess of the screenshot and also just the font that's on Twitter browser. Like, Jesus, man, this shit is outdated. But the truth is, the subreddit is like alive and well as much as it ever has been, but when you sort by top of the month or even like top of last year, you have to scroll for like 20 light years before you find something that's like more benign, just somebody dunking on another person and not just like political gotchas. I'm not like wholesale against those, but I'm trying to have a little fun here. So I decided to dig into the archives. I've gone through like the last 7 years of top posts on there. There'll probably be repeats if you've watched this video before. But hey, think of it like a hit of nostalgia in your high school days when you listen to people read Reddit posts in the background. If you enjoy this video, this card at the end will take you to another one like it. And did you know only 20% of y'all are subscribed with notifications on? If you sub and hit that bell icon, you'll never miss an upload, and you can always undo it later. It's kind of like cheating when you pull examples of this from r/roastme, where people are literally asking you to dismantle their entire person, whether physical or mental. But sometimes it's just hard to deny that, like, the people on that subreddit are good at what they do, and there's a reason I stay away from it. I'm 18. I watch hentai recreationally. Tear me to shreds. Oh yeah, you can tell that this is like a 2018-ass post where, like, saying, I watch hentai, like in any context, saying that was comedy supreme. To be perfectly honest, there's not much with which to roast you physically, but your posting history shows a yearly trip here since you're eligible for it, and including the hentai part, it just seems like it adds to your whole desperate reach for attention thing you've got going on, which is quite pathetic. I don't know what it is, but being called pathetic, like in just very benign terms, that shit cuts deep for me, man. So yeah, if you guys ever wanted to stab me directly in the stomach, I guess that's your way in. The fact that you'd prefer insults to silence says a whole lot about your personality. You know, I never really thought about it. What if, like, somebody's just into that shit and that's why they're going on r/roastme? The insults are no sweat off their back. It's just like some new material in the folder. I don't think I want to read this post anymore. Okay, this one is absolutely insane. Also, a quick reminder, if you're in the San Antonio area, I will be at the San Japan Convention from August 29th to the 31st. My friends at Novel Horizons were kind enough to host me, and I'll be doing 2 virtual meet and greet events while I'm there. The current times for them are on Friday, August 29th, 5 p.m. Central Time, and the second one is on Sunday, August 31st, 3 p.m. Central Time. These are subject to change, but hopefully I'll see y'all there. If you want to come meet me, feel free to come and chop it up. And on top of that, there will be some exclusive items from Novel Horizons for purchase, like prints, keychains, and more. I'll keep y'all posted as we get closer to the big weekend, but I figured I'd give y'all a quick tap on the shoulder now. OP tries to humble brag about armed robbery, gets demolished by commenter. It's important before going into posts like this, you keep in mind that these could be fake, but when you engage with any work of fiction, you suspend your disbelief so you can enjoy the story being told. I did a bad thing 10 years ago. I should feel bad, right? But I don't. I see it as a coming-of-age learning experience. I did an armed robbery, gun-to-head style, when I was 16, and thought it was super funny. You weren't even doing it, like, for thrills. You weren't doing it because you were pushed to the end of your rope by the system and lack of resources. You were just in it because it was a good bit. Salute to you, my friend, the most pure motivation of them all. I'm ashamed of my actions, but I don't want to reach out to the victim for an apology for fear of repressions. I assume he meant to say repercussions. I went to school with dude and set him up to be robbed. I feel bad and have turned my life around 180 degrees. Now, to be clear, this is the sort of thing that I think you can improve and become a better person as. The things they've done in the past will probably rub up against my personal tolerance for that sort of thing, but, you know, you did a really dumb thing as a 16-year-old. That's a really fucking terrible thing to do. Imagine if you had actually killed the guy. But there's a chance, you know, you can fix things up. And this is the part where I think the replier might just be lying, but also he could just be doing it as a bit to get a rise out of OP. I was the victim of an armed robbery when I was 16. Basically, the same situation you described. There are two places that it's so odd how often you run into people randomly there. There's the airport and random Reddit am I the asshole threads. Basically the same situation you described. No gun, but they put the boots to me pretty good. I've moved on in my life, but I sure as fuck have no interest in hearing from the guy who set the whole thing up. Even just like a dude with a pretty similar situation, even if it's not literally the same guy, it's like hell of a coincidence, man. Or actually maybe they were more inclined to click on it when they saw the headline and thought it reminded of something in their past. An apology from him would be worthless to me. I hope he does feel bad. I hope every time his children leave his house, he worries they'll be preyed upon by somebody just like him. You said fuck them kids just because I hate your daddy that much. By the way, the word you're looking for is repercussions, and yeah, you probably should worry about that too, especially since you're posting a lot of identifying information publicly. I don't know, man. Maybe he's comfortable doing it a decade on because the statute of limitations is passed. I don't actually know how long it is on this one. You live in the North Fort Worth area. You drive a 2002 Lancer from Deltarune, and you're the assistant manager of a sandwich shop located next to a high school. You're a white male, approximately 26 years of age. You're a drug user and probably a gun owner. Sheesh, dude, this guy was apparently fronting about how much he turned his life around. Listen, I don't even do robberies anymore. Just crack. Posting things that would signify information that is this contradictory about you on the same account is just absolutely flabbergasts me. Like, no burners, no VPNs, no nothing. Not even any red herrings about who you actually are and lying about certain details. You know, maybe they actually did do that. You're also admitted to at least one offense that would land you on the sex offender registry for life? Holy shit, dude! Yeah, why on earth, with that in your posting history, would you ask Reddit in general, can I be forgiven? Should I feel bad? That's what I learned about you in 2 minutes just by reading your public posts on Reddit. I wonder what an actual investigator would learn if they tried. I'm scared to learn more about that myself, so we're just gonna quickly move on along. Happy Mother's Day to all of the single fathers out there who have to raise their kids without a mother. As RX Poppy said to his mother, you were supposed to be my mom and my dad. Therefore, you should qualify for getting little cards saying you're a great parent on both holidays. Why do men always have to try and take away everything that's just for women? And I know you think this post is going in a gender wars direction, but part of why I love posts like this is that it turns completely from men are the problem, women are actually the problem, and they're just being held up against each other, because if just the right type of person has a complaint, all the discussions about who should be celebrated on Mother's or Father's Day go out the window, and it just turns into some petty fucking beef where we get to see some aired out family drama. You're one to talk. Blank has raised 2 great children all by himself. He does school bake sales, cooks dinner, cleans, and does his daughter's hair before school. Your 4 kids all live with your parents because you can't stay out of jail for more than 6 months. He's more of a mother than you'll ever be. Facebook comment threads just tend to get really messy. I could probably do a video about just like really petty interpersonal beef that like maybe you guys have seen on your own Facebook feeds, because they treat that shit like it's a goddamn courtroom and that winning that argument will get the other dude in jail or you a major settlement. A simple, well, at least this guy's raising his kids. Your kids are with your parents because you can't be trusted around them would have been enough. But nope, you had to go give the details. Okay, if true, as you guys know, I do not fact check my videos because having correct information is stupid and gay. But if this is like an actual thing pulled out of history, this might be the greatest murdered by words ever. Or perhaps just the greatest rage baiter in general ever. The cheekiest rage baiter in history versus the best rage baiter of today. My favorite thing I've learned in college is that way back in ancient China, there was this poet/philosopher guy who wrote this whole pretentious poem about how enlightened he was that was like, the 8 winds cannot move me, blah, blah, blah. To be fair, that is like kind of a hard-ass line. And he was really proud of it. He sent it to his friend who lived across the lake, and then his friend sends it back and just writes, fart, or the ancient Chinese equivalent. I don't know, man. How would you feel if you sent one of your friends like a fanfic you were working on to beta read, and then they just sent you like a whoopee cushion in the mail? Or just like a gif of a guy farting. Maybe even the dude synced up to Denzel Curry's Ultimate as he like sits on top of a bathroom stall and aims to take a shit from 10 feet up. And he was so mad, he travels across the lake to chew his friend out. And when he gets there, his friend says, wow, the 8 winds cannot move you, but one fart sends you across the lake. Got his ass, dude. Like, that is fucking cold. In fairness, bro, he said the 8 winds couldn't move him. The fart is like a nebulous, very unpredictable 9th wind that I think would get most people to move if it smelled bad enough. Happy National Girlfriend Day. Photo creds to me, her #1 fan. She seems like a lovely woman. Girl, space, friend, ellipses. Ha ha ha. You forgot the space there, buddy. Thanks for being my best friend. This is such a 6 years ago post, man, but also probably like a psyop or like a premeditated joke. Doesn't really matter. I get my kicks out of things that I know aren't real all the time. All right, we're about to get into really controversial territory here, so I need you guys to all go into this with a level head. We're about to talk about the metric system versus the imperial system. There are some self-hating Americans in this thread and on this channel who think that we should switch to metric instead of rejecting the unholy kilometer. That said, we're all grown-ups here. We can have a cordial conversation about this and respect each other's position. It may leave us thinking less of each other, but the positions, at least, maybe we can come to a consensus on. Can I just say, whoever the fuck made us dumbass Americans remember 5,280 feet and not just 1,000 meters is a jerk. You realize the imperial system existed before the metric, right? And our isolationism spared us from the Europeans constantly changing the way things are done now. I agree with this guy. I don't think we should ever progress as a society ever, and everything should be the same forever. Probably should have put a pause on it right now, but you know what? Let's just pick this exact moment as where everything should be frozen culturally and socially. I've picked a really good time to make that decree, haven't I? You realize living in a cave and smashing rocks existed before living in a house with electricity. I still prefer living in a house. And this is my issue. There is a lot of robust debate over whether we should be living in houses or if we should go back to being cave-dwelling Neanderthals. And I think there's some real good points on both sides. On the side of housing and electricity, video games, pretty good. Probably my favorite medium of storytelling. But then again, bashing rocks together sounds fucking awesome, dude. No, I don't think I would be so big into the hunter-gatherer aspect of it all. I just don't really have the athletic acumen to keep up with that sort of thing. Or maybe I could get up to it. I just don't like doing it, man. I guess maybe the lesson is I should be less sedentary, but I'm way, I wanna. I bet nobody under 40 knows what this is, and it's one of the little, like, plastic clip-on things that are on all the bags of bread in like grocery stores, because all bread is digital now. Bro, I'll be making this money on the internet, I'll tell you that shit now. All my bread digital because it's in crypto. Oh my god, what a stable asset that I'll be able to retire off of, and I'm definitely not making massive gambles by putting my money into. Marry a guy who will email you when you block him. Dude, I like barely email people I owe bills to every month. I just don't think I'd have the gumption or stamina for something like this ever. Not because I'm like against trying to communicate with somebody more cordially, just because, like, I don't know, man, it just doesn't really cross my mind to mix email and romance ever. Fellas, marry a woman that doesn't play these kinds of games. And don't worry, ladies, there are absolutely men who will do similar things to you out there. We are all destined to do this in a cycle forever, bro. I love being an Ouroboros. Oh, you know what? Here's some juicy interpersonal family drama. It's 5 years old, so hopefully it got smoothed over already. Or this happily wedded couple got divorced in the meantime, but either way, let's take a look. Guy finds his brother-in-law's post of recently getting married and how he flirts with women. On r/Tinder, when you like start dating for a long enough amount of time, why would you like even spend time skulking around not just the Tinder app, but the online community for r/Tinder, dude? It's like you're shitting everywhere to leave your own paper trail in case someone wants to sniff you out. You just gotta give them a reason to stick around. Women also like to be treated like dirt when you first meet them. It's fucked up, but it's true. Or you could just get a cute dog. I'll assume it was the cute dogs then, Caleb, because I'd be pretty disappointed to find out you treated my sister like dirt at any point. Seeing family randomly on the front page is weird. That's the worst part. He probably could have gotten away with this shit if he just hadn't, like, done it under his wedding announcement post. Like, dude, you put your face to it. They know that's you. Holy shit, man. I would be terrified of what other kind of things I'd said in my post history after getting that directly called out by my now brother-in-law. Fucking war criminals, I tell ya. People who leave their phones set to military time are fucking war criminals. How do you look at 1605 and go, wow, I can understand that. Fucking bootlickers, what's next? You gonna go join the army? Recruit me? Americans be like, okay, I can't past 12, actually. Hey man, don't lump me in with that. I am personally an AM PM truther. It's how I choose to conduct my life, but I can read military time. I think it's just the connotation of the name that makes it kinda icky for a certain subset of people, namely the type of person who would use Tumblr. 2,300 hours is like kind of a clinical way of saying the time, but does sound kinda hard, man. God versus humanity, where God doesn't cancel people. He literally started all of humanity over with a flood, and that was cancel culture at its finest. It went too far when they crucified Jesus. How many times have I used that joke over the years? At least 4. I do like to imagine, though, as God as like the ultimate cancel culture warrior. Like, he has some of the strongest Twitter fingers you've ever seen in your life. And on that note, I think I'm gonna wrap this one up here. That card I mentioned should be on screen. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe with notifications on if you enjoyed. Anyways, this has been Kwite, and I'll see y'all next time.